Podium Audio presents Guild of Secrets, Book 1 of Obsidian Queen, written by Shari Tapscott, performed by Mare Trevathan. Prologue. Northern California. It was a difficult birth, long and tiresome. When the infant finally came into the world, her skin was blue from lack of oxygen, and she did not cry. Monitors beeped in the room, human devices that made complications easier to detect. The mother lay on the bed, her face pale and slicked with sweat. "Is it a girl?" she managed. But the midwife didn't answer. The woman wrapped the baby in a blanket and swept her away, sending magic into the child's lungs, opening her airways, coaxing her to breathe. Finally, the baby cried. Quiet at first, and then louder. But the midwife did not take her back, did not lay her in her mother's arms. Instead, she disappeared down a hall in the mansion capella and slipped into a room hidden in the wall. A man waited for her. He looked like a businessman in a suit and tie, a banker or lawyer. But he was neither of those things. He was a reader of magic, a griffin. And he'd been waiting for this day for a very long time. "Well?" the midwife whispered, nervously looking over her shoulder at the closed door. "Is she the one they've been waiting for?" The child was from the right bloodline, and she was female, but the chances were so slim. The midwife hoped with all her heart, as she did with each birth, that this was not the girl. But the boy had been born 5 years before. It was only a matter of time. "She is," he murmured, fear and regret cloaking his body as he read the infant's magic that swirled in pewter ribbons about her tiny body. The woman held a fist to her chest, filled with grief. They knew their job, knew why they'd been secretly placed in the mansion, stayed for so many years. The child must die. "I'll take care of it." The man rose, ready to leave, ready to disappear into the thick woods just past the mansion grounds. "You know what to tell them." She nodded, her eyes stinging. She left then, headed down the hall, arms empty, into the birthing room where the mother waited. The woman was asleep, her blonde hair a mess of gold about her head. She wasn't old, barely 20. She woke when the midwife came into the room. "I'm sorry," the older woman said, grieving as she set her hand on the young mother's arm. The child was stillborn. 2 weeks later, on a foggy June morning, the midwife and the man in the suit were found dead in a park north of San Francisco. Chapter 1. Avon, Colorado. 22 years later. There are precisely 3 reasons why parents send their daughters to Briarwood School for Young Women. Reason number 1, it looks good on an apprenticeship application. Reason number 2, a coveted apprenticeship will lead to a proper marriage with a man of high character established in a well-esteemed faction. And finally, reason number 3, nothing makes a girl realize she needs to marry well like spending 4 years with the matronly spinster teachers at Briarwood. The problem is the apprenticeship, written in loopy calligraphy on the rolled-up parchment in my hand, won't lead to a proper marriage and all the honor that accompanies such a union. It's not even with the right guild. And that's why, on a sunny Thursday, just before noon, I storm through an office door, not bothering to knock. It careens open and crashes against a rubber stopper at the bottom of the wall, creating a loud thump, followed by an obnoxious twang as the spring returns to its original position. The man in the posh leather and dark wood office looks up from his laptop, catches the first glimpse of me in my pristine white tasseled cap, gown, and 3-inch heels, and has the audacity to smile. The indulgent expression crinkles his 26-year-old face, but it does nothing to calm my mood. In fact, it might make it worse. The man who sits before me in a pressed gray suit, sharp vest, and tie that probably cost more than most wedding rings is the current head.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?